what happened to you guys is it happens, because for every rat you see, there's 50 you don't.
Yeah.
So it really does make me wonder, a lot of these things where we're sending, they know what's going on. I think that these carriers that are being sent over there to West Asia right now are being like held, they're going to be sold out to dry. Like nobody's going to be able to come and help them. We don't even have any functioning bases there anymore, but yet we're willing to send these people there. I don't understand.
Gentlemen, if there is something that I think you can speak on well, because you alluded to, Phil, that you are coming to the state to speak at one of James Fishback's events. So I'm sure you guys are both familiar with Jay Collins, who is an Army Green Beret. But as we've seen with certain members of the military, particularly in the state of Florida, not just Jay Collins, obviously the worst of them, of course, is Brian Mast. There is really something to be said for those that put on the uniform and either forget why they were serving in the first place. They harbor a lot of anger and resentment towards the populace, either because they didn't serve themselves or whatever the reasoning may be. But Jay Collins, who was also running for governor of Florida, had an incident the other day here, and I'm sure you guys have heard about this. And to me, seeing an Army veteran act this way in defense of Israel really says a lot as far as I'm concerned.
Collins, how you doing? Do you have any regrets or remorse for what you said to that 17-year-old kid and you're a little aggressive to him?
Yeah, no. So, no, I don't, and here's why.
Okay.
I almost died for our nation. I buried friends. If we don't start teaching these young men and women that a sociopath
What's that got to do with the
Let me finish
question?
what I'm saying.
You don't have to talk to me like I'm a kid.
I'm going to tell you. Let me finish.
Okay, you go ahead and finish.
If we don't start teaching kids, there is a responsibility to step up. That there's a responsibility to protect. A responsibility to do the right thing. He has to hear that.
Dude, he had a genuine question, though. Don't you think he just asked an honest question about Israel funding?
No,
and you came over and were like, sit down. No. You were like very, dude, it was a little aggressive.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was actually.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, that was wrong, and so is all the money we send to Israel. And you'll never win an Israel First campaign in Florida.
Yeah, I'm not running Israel first. I'm running in America first.
How come the governor hasn't endorsed you?
Well, who did he handpick? Did he handpick?
Has he spoke about you publicly in 9 months?
He has.
He has?
You should go watch.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Yeah. You'll never,
I hope you make great choices.
America first, America only. You can take your Israel first stuff and you can just be done.
God bless you.
You don't have to put your hands on me.
We protect your freedom.
Have a good day, sir. You can act real tough, but it doesn't work, bud.
Wow.
That guy does not have the temperament to be an elected dog catcher, much less be an elected governor of the state of Florida. But that's a whole other story. You cannot support Israel and say you're America first. It's that simple.
Yeah.
No, how could you? I mean, America first is America, and we've been supporting Israel forever. They bankrupt us, fighting their wars with our soldiers and sailors and Marines dying over the greater good of Israel. And, it's people like Iraq. Look what George Bush did, weapons of mass destruction. And he was told that by guess who? The Zionist state of Israel. 9/11, I'm speaking as Phil Tourney, a survivor. I'm not speaking for the crew. But my thoughts and what I've learned and what I've studied, the people I've been around, the only conclusion I can come to is we're screwed. And if we don't get out of it now, we are really dumb. So, America sees it. Europe sees it. The world sees it. And we've got ourselves in a corner in this damn deal with the Strait of Hormuz that could get many, many other people killed, including American citizens that have no right to be there, but they will fight for their country and die for their country, just as our shipmates did. Betrayed by our own government in the most vile, vicious way you could ever be betrayed. We get raped every day over and over and over again every time we hear about Israel first. What about the 34 men I've got in my arm right now that gave their lives for. They're young guys, man. These are our people. You know, Eisenberg. Please tell them about Eisenberg, Larry.
Is that one of the slides we have? Well, that's what I was going to ask you guys. We have some slides, and I wasn't sure if there were particular people that you wanted to talk about that we were forwarding. Well, no, is that one of these? Let me add it. So if I mean, are these people that, well, I mean, these are you guys, but then do you want to tell us about these people, like go through these slides?
Well, yeah, we can talk about, the captain and the fact that he got the Congressional Medal of Honor for helping keep the ship afloat and keeping all of us focused on what our duties were to save the ship and to help our fellow sailors as best we could, because there wasn't anyone else coming to our aid. He stayed on the bridge. He was manning the helm, up there, making sure that, we were steering out of harm's way the best we could. And absolutely deserved the Medal of Honor, as did several other members of our crew. They didn't receive it, but even the captain, when he received his Medal of Honor, because it was going to be an embarrassment to Israel, he didn't receive his Medal of Honor at the White House like everyone else during the Vietnam era.
Right.
That they all received their medals from the president at the White House. Captain McGonigal got his in Washington Navy shipyard by an admiral, but not by the president. It was just another slap in the face, to the skipper of the most decorated Navy ship for a single event in Navy history. With all the awards that were bestowed upon the crew, still we're not talking about it.
All right, let's see. There's your Admiral.
Yep, there's Admiral Moore. Phil, you want to talk about Admiral Moore?
Yeah, tell us.
Oh boy, can I tell you about Admiral Moore? What a great human being, what a great admiral, and what a great friend. We were very fortunate. I was president then of the LVA at the Army Navy Club to present Admiral Thomas Moore with the first USS Liberty Annual Award. And Admiral Moore was very, very, very highly decorated. I mean, everything you could get except a Medal of Honor. And when we presented it to him at the Army Navy Club, he said, "That's the best award I've ever received above any medal was from the crew of the USS Liberty." So that tells you a lot about patriotism and devotion to duty. He put his career on the line for sticking up for us, as other admirals did. Admiral Starring, he was a JAG officer. He put his line on the career. And he became the Judge Advocate General of the United States Navy. And he was a JAG officer taken off the USS Liberty case by Ward Boston at orders of Admiral McCain to find the attack was a mistaken identity, which Admiral Moore never agreed with and went to his dying breath saying the very same thing. But to get back to the crew, and there's so many great people and so many honorable people. There's one of them, Ernie Gallo, and but what I saw on deck, people dying, and thank you for putting up my book.
Oh, I could put it back. I could put it back. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon or.
Oh,
from
all your links are in our description and everything, guys.
Okay,
all this
good,
stuff.
good.
Yeah, we'll promote.
Yeah, but getting back to the crew that were sacrificed, these CTs that came back with the ship, skeleton crew, by the way, and docked in Malta, they would only let the CTs get inside the security spaces. And the CTs worked harder than anybody to retrieve their own shipmates. It had been in salt water for 7 days, and it stunk like it was death throughout the ship. But these guys went down there every day and every day and every day and every day and cleaned it and picked up body parts. It's horrific for them to do, but they did it. And I have great respect for them, all of them. My deepest respect.
We have a couple of clips.
I am not entirely sure what there is that we were going to show. Well, I thought that was the intro thing. Is this?
No, there was a couple of more actually.
Is that this? Is that this?
Yep.
That's what the world really doesn't know today, and I think that's why we were sworn to secrecy, is how close we really came to a potential nuclear holocaust.
You know how much press the nuclear warheads got when they landed in Cuba?
The step toward world thermonuclear war.
Well, this was 1,000 times worse, but nobody knows about it.
Another victim was the United States naval vessel Liberty. She was mistaken for an Egyptian vessel, and Israeli ships and planes torpedoed and strafed her.
The story of the Liberty is not a whodunit, it's a whodunit.
The casualties were high, 34 American dead and 75 wounded. There were arguments later about how the error happened.
The reality of what happened is it was not a mistake, and they wanted to sink us, and what does that mean to this country?
Case closed, mistaken identity. We're very sorry. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Well, there's no question. It was a big cover-up from the top on down.
What did we do wrong? Why are we being labeled the bad guys and we can't talk about it?
For the next 40 plus years, I never said anything to anyone.
No, never. I knew it'd be the end of my career if I said anything. In the Naval Security Group, everything was secret. So just one additional secret you had to keep.
You just couldn't talk about it. It was such a secret, and with our lives threatened, and who knows if they were monitoring us or doing whatever.
If you ever repeat one word about the USS Liberty and who did it to you, I'll guarantee I'll see you in Leavenworth or worse. You know what worse means?
When you're told by the President of the United States, Secretary of Defense, to keep your mouth shut, don't say anything, and that's a direct order.
Israel had America by the scruff of the neck. Such was the need to cover up what America had got up to during the 6-Day War.
His girlfriend from the Mossad told him that he could raise all kinds of money to continue the Vietnam War.
He had been contacted.
And there it is. What is it about these men that get involved with these women? They don't think straight. And then the next thing you know, you have a Mossad agent you're sleeping with telling you, hey, want to get reelected for president? Want to make sure you keep winning? We got lots of money to give you. All you got to do is just let us continue doing the war effort. Don't ask any questions. It's a tale as old as time. I have not seen this before, but we've all seen this before.
Told him that he could raise all kinds of money to continue the Vietnam War.
He had been contacted by a man with a hoarse voice who said that he'd been a pilot that attacked at Liberty, and suddenly he disappears. There's no record. Can only suspect that it was as he feared. They deported him, they turned him over to the Israelis, took him back to Israel, court-martialed him secretly, and maybe have executed him.
The Liberty is a microcosm of this much bigger problem in the Middle East. And Americans need to know what happened. The story has to be told.
And so that we were under attack by unknown jet aircraft.
They say get over it. You don't get over something like this. It haunts you.
The men would bring the body pieces up to me, and I tried to put them together to make a body out of them.
I don't know what the hell happened, and I haven't taken time to find out. I know nothing about it.
What I'm about to tell you is for your ears only. You are not to tell anyone during my lifetime.
I'm surprised I can even talk about that.
They were sad. That type of horror, your body is not going to remember. Your brain's not going to record it.
I think we sacrificed a lot of people for no good reason.
I am not saying anything about the Liberty, period.
Are you, McNamara? Are you? You don't say shit, just like you covered up Jack's assassination and Bobby's assassination and
There's
Martin
another
Luther King's
clip.
assassination.
We have
and
another.
the USS Liberty. Covered it all up.
Let's see what this is.
Not our greatest ally, they are our worst deadly enemy. And what I would like to do now is to read the names of the 34 American servicemen who were murdered by Israel on board the USS Liberty in 1967. So William Allenbough, Philip McArmstrong, Gary Blanchard, Alan Blue, Francis Brown, Ronnie Campbell, Jerry Converse, Robert Eisenberg, Jerry Goss, Curtis Graves, Lawrence Hayden, Warren Hersey, Alan Higgins, Carl Hoar, Richard Keene, James Lanau, Raymond Lynn, James Lupton, Dwayne Margraf, David Marlborough, Anthony Mendel, Carl Nygren, James Pierce, Jack Rapar, Edward Raymeyer, David Skolak, John Smith, Melvin Smith, John Spicker, Alexander Thompson, Thomas Thornton, Philip Tyke, Stephen S. Toth, Frederick Walton. The moment of silence, please, for our American heroes who were murdered by the outlaw state of Israel.
Makes me so sad. Like, I have two boys. So I have a 25-year-old and a 20-year-old. So, you know, they look like y'all were like babies. Makes me so sad.
Well, be thankful that there's no longer a draft, because back in '65, I was actually drafted. I got my draft notice and went and took the Army physical. And I had talked to the Navy before that. And they said, yeah, take the Army physical. And when you pass that, just come back. We'll put you in the Navy. But, you know, I mean, since then, I don't remember when they discontinued the draft. But we've had, you know, a very, very strong military presence based on volunteers stepping up and just, you know, doing what they consider to be their duty to protect our country. And that's, you know, I mean, it's heartwarming for me to see, you know, these young folks stepping up and you know, committing for maybe just 4 years, but they're doing what needs to be done to protect our freedoms.